my name is Chloe Davis, and I'm a Buchanan Library Fellow here at Vanderbilt University this semester. Today, I'm going to be walking you through a piece from the Samuel H. Kress collection here at Vanderbilt entitled The Madonna and Child with St. Anne. This scene here is a Holy Family scene, meaning it shows multiple members of the Holy Family. Here we see the infant Christ seated on the Virgin Mary's lap, and they're joined by St. Anne, Mary's mother. In the background, we see Mary's father and Joseph, Christ's earthly father. This scene is rich in visual symbolism, much like other images from the Northern Renaissance era. We see in Anne's lap an open book and an apple. These items are meant to symbolize the new Adam motif. The new Adam motif is used to link Christ to Adam, joining the Old and New Testaments together in a way that ties the overall narrative of the Bible into one singular journey. So, what does this mean? The central narrative of the text is Jesus' sacrifice as a token of God's perfect love. Thus, when compiling the books of the Bible, many clerics sought to prove that this was the central narrative of the Bible by proving that it had been foreshadowed to for the entire text. Old Testament books were combed through for references to a Messiah. David's implausible victory against Goliath was compared to Christ's triumph over sin, and Jonah's encounter with the whale was considered a foreshadowing of the resurrection. But it was Adam who many were most eager to connect to the Savior. Both were chosen sons of God, Adam as the first man, and Christ as the earthly manifestation of the Lord. Both were initially without sin and were directly or indirectly tempted by Satan as a result. But where Adam stumbled and partook of the apple offered by Eve, who herself was persuaded by the snake, Jesus remained perfect when he refused to bow to the devil's temptations in the desert. Thus, a connection is established between Christ and Adam by expounding upon their similarities. However, it is also made clear that Jesus was able to achieve what those who came before him could not. The Old Testament not only foreshadowed Christ, but set into motion the very trajectory that saw him through on his mission. Considering the panel's size and subject matter, it is possible that the work was for devotional use in the home of a wealthy and devout patron. This work would have fit nicely on a small altar within a private chapel. Moreover, the emphasis on Christ's humanity through the new Adam imagery and the presence of the Holy Family personalized the Passion for viewers. Enabling people to see themselves in these figures allowed them to feel the emotions of Christ's sacrifice more acutely. For instance, the mothers could imagine both Mary's love for her son and the grief she surely felt at his death when looking at this image. The pastoral setting, resemblant of contemporary Northern Europe, conveyed the continued relevance of the Passion for viewers. The panel's attribution is contested, with some arguing it was created by Jan Provost and others arguing it was made by Goswijn van Weyden. So this discrepancy is partly due to the workshop system, in which artists were responsible for the original design of an image, and apprentices carried out the majority of the production. With apprentices carrying out most of the work, it's hard to find the idiosyncratic features of an artist's hand that help us to recognize them as the author of the object. The Kress Foundation attributes this to Goswijn van Weyden. You can see this object and others from the Samuel H. Kress collection in the upcoming exhibit, The Artist's Workshop in Medieval and Renaissance Europe, coming to the Vanderbilt University Fine Arts Gallery in 2024.